Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Williams, and with me, Brian Lowe from RugbyLeaguePlanet.com, and welcome to Game 2 of the Firehouse Subs Rugby League World Cup Qualifiers Americas, coming to you live from Specmart Stadium in DeLand, Florida. Tonight's game between the Jamaica Reggae Warriors and Canada Wolverines, part of a three-game series between USA, Canada and Jamaica to see who will qualify for the 2017 Rugby League World Cup. Okay, Brian, we are 1/3 of the way through the tournament. USA first blood against Jamaica, winning 20 points to 14 the other night. The spotlight goes away from the USA. Tonight it's focused on Jamaica and Canada. But before we speak about these two teams, I'd like to go back to your first prediction the other night. Are Canada still the tournament favourites?
Yes, they are, and here's why. You have to go on recent form. They swept the Colonial Cup series against the Hawks earlier this summer and won 2-0. Before that, they won last year's one-off game. They've been dominating Jamaica for the past few years. In fact, after their loss first up in 2010, they haven't lost one since. They're 4-1 against the Reggae Warriors. On top of that, the Canadians, and I think you might agree with me, Steve, have picked probably the biggest pack of forwards of any of the teams in this competition. For those reasons, the Wolverines still favoured to win.
Alrighty, so now if we talk about Jamaica here, it was a bruising encounter the other night, the Jamaica team taking on the USA forwards, but we really saw that disappointment where we didn't get to see that ball movement we were looking for. A lot of drop ball was taking place, and as a result, we never got to see that strength and speed out wide. What will they have to do different? Will it be a different strategy than the other night?
Look, I think they have to stick with the same strategy, but they have to execute properly because, like I just said, the Canadian forwards are going to be too big. They're going to dominate up front. Absolutely will do that. I think the Jamaicans have to move the ball out wide. As the coach said to me the other day, they've got to move it out wide fast because they had poor ball handling, too many knock-ons. They also said that they thought there were too many penalties against them. I disagree. I thought they were not penalised anywhere near as much as the Americans. Anyway, because of those reasons, they have to do all of that to be a chance in this game.
And so when we talk about the Jamaica team the other night, again, it was a very physical encounter and some players really stepped up there. So who in particular was the standout players for you, and which were the ones that disappointed who really need to take it to the next level?
Okay, the forwards, Ross Peltier and Lamont Bryan, absolutely great games, especially Peltier scored 2 of their 3 tries. He's a unit, as is Lamont Bryan. He's a load. Doesn't matter who's going to be tackling him. You're going to have 2 or 3 guys to bring him down. Who else did well? I thought Joel Farrell, the 5'8", did okay. He was the guy who picked up that loose ball midway through the second half and scampered 70 metres to score one of their tries. But other than that, I don't think there were too many standouts on the field. Maybe Wayne Rady at fullback, but the halfback, Danny Thomas, didn't have a good game. Matter of fact, he's injured, so he's out of the game tonight. And I think those are the guys you're going to have to keep an eye on tonight.
Okay, so now let's talk about Canada and what's been going on in the scene there. They've had such a great run on the international scene in recent years. They've won the past few games of both the USA and Jamaica. But let's talk about what's been transpiring on the actual scene inside of Canada. Why is this game growing so quickly? Are we witnessing the next powerhouse in rugby league in the Americas?
Well, we may well be, because they're doing so very, very well in a short space of time. As you said, in 2000, that's when the game virtually disappeared in Canada. As according to the president of the Canada Rugby League Association, Paul O'Keefe, told me that's because fans were running the game at the time. He said fans can't run the game. You need business people with a business plan. That's what they're doing now. They came back in 2010. Yeah, they lost the first couple of games in the Atlantic Cup. They've been, improving ever since. They've got 3 strongholds in that country now. You've got British Columbia, you've got Alberta, and the favourite one, Ontario, of course. And I think now that you can spread the wealth across the country, I think that speaks volumes about how they're progressing.
And as we look at the team roster there with the Canada team, Aaron Zimmermehl comes into the coaching role in replace of Jamie Lester. Aaron is a coach for the Tweedhead Seagulls in the Intra Super Cup in Queensland there. But Aaron also is coaching teams or coaching against teams where a number of the Canada's heritage players are actually competing against it. So he's very familiar with these players coming into this event.
Yeah, he is. And one other thing you might not know about, certainly some of the listeners or viewers might not, Zimmermehl's been coaching Tweedhead, as you say. USA captain Mark Offerdale played for the Seagulls this past season, so they know each other very, very well. But getting to your question about the several players, you've got Tom Dempsey from East Tigers in Brisbane. You've got the Reese brothers, or the Jacks brothers, Reese, who plays for South Logan Magpies, and his brother Riley, who plays for the Sunshine Coast Falcons. Those guys he knows very well. You've also got Lewis Robinson, the other heritage guy from the UK, plays for the London Scholars. I think those guys could have an impact on the game.
Well, it is do or die for Jamaica. Nothing short of a win tonight will keep them in this tournament. As for Canada, not only do they want to win, but they would like to widen the gap between points going into Saturday's game against the USA. Coming up, Game 2 of the Firehouse Subs Rugby League World Cup qualifiers. Jamaica Reggae Warriors against the Canada Wolverines. We'll be right back with the kickoff.
Now the Canadian anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for both the Reggae Warriors.
So let's just look at the Jamaica roster again.
Wolverines from the Canadian Rugby League. We now hand the game
At fullback, we've got...
Stephen Ganson, who will be the man in the middle this morning.
Let's look at the Canadian team.
Game underway.
At the fullback position, we've got Legault. In the centres, we've got Greg and Shelton. On the wing, Gamel and Timler. In the 5/8 position is Riley Jacks. At the scrum half, Steve Pietek. In the front row, Robinson and Dempsey. In the hooker position, Jacks. In the second row, Milner and Bouchard. Sliding into lock position is James Kelly. On the bench, we've got Wiles, Wamawa, Boyd and Blanc.
And Steve, we have 5 debutants in the Canadian team tonight. 5, that's not bad.
Not too bad indeed.
We'll see how they all travel tonight. Looking forward to this one. It should be a... Well, I'm predicting a Canadian win right from the get-go. We'll see by how much. We'll see whether the Jamaicans have been able to regroup enough in the last few days to make this a contest.
Well, let's start by saying a big hello to all the players, families, friends and loved ones. And there's the kickoff. Game 2 of the Firehouse Subs Rugby League World Cup qualifiers between Jamaica and Canada. And there's the first tackle, and already great field position for Canada on the 25-yard line. There's Dempsey taking the ball. Jack's in the hooker position. On the 40-yard line, third tackle.
Making a lot of ground already, Steve.
It was a flat pass, slightly suspect. Robert Hicks is the referee again, and Jack's got away there on the first one, already in open space. Good field position for Canada. There's Jack's again, his brother. Nice little kick and found touch 5 yards out. Enterprising stuff from the Canadian team in the beginning. Quick play the ball, quickly moving that ball up the field.
They call Riley Jacks the architect, by the way. You just saw why. He's the playmaker. He plays for the Sunshine Coast Falcons in the Intrust Super Cup in Queensland, and which is a feeder club to the Melbourne Storm, I believe. And he's looking forward to perhaps getting into the NRL at some point. We can see here already the Canadians have made a lot of ground. They started back in their own quarter, and they're up on the 10-yard line of the Jamaicans as this scrum sets.
There's Jamaica looking to move the ball.
Again, I think we're going to see, Steve, tonight Canada do similar things to what the Americans did in terms of committing 2 and 3 men to the tackle.
And there they are again, not afraid to throw the ball around, and already there's a turnover, and the errors that cost them in the first game have come up again very quickly for Canada and for Jamaica, and we find ourselves with Canada getting the ball back on the 20-yard line in great field position very early in the game. Not the start that Jamaica wanted for game 2. Canada, this is perfect field position.
Yeah, that's not what Romeo Monteith told me they wanted. They wanted to shift the ball out wide. They wanted to do it fast. They wanted to eliminate or certainly minimize the handling errors right from the start there. They've made another mistake.
That's Jacks feeding the ball into the scrum. Piatic there. Oh, we look like we got a shepherd in the tackle. That's a blocking, and very lucky for Jamaica to come away with that. Canada was on the move. They looked like they were already threatening.
Yeah, it's one of those rules. I don't know what you feel about it, Steve. I've always thought that the obstruction rule, or shepherding in the old terminology, a little bit suspect. I don't know about that one, but you know, that's the referee's decision, isn't it?
Great field position for Canada, taking that ball on the 40-yard line. Let's see what they can do with it. Marvin Thompson at dummy half. Already at the halfway line. Second tackle.
And we're seeing right from the start to the Canadian defensive line pretty solid, coming up pretty fast and making it pretty hard for the Reggae Warriors to make any ground there.
That was Peltier with the ball, a standout performance in the first game. Another one too, Farrell there, also had a great game against the USA. Going down the blind side.
Oh, that was a nice hit there. Nice
Pulling
hit.
the ball out, and referee says it was lost at the tackle. Canada finds themselves with the ball again on the 30-yard line. Jamaica not capitalizing on that set.
That was Rick Shelton made that hit, Steve, and he's one of the debutants.
He'll be happy to have that out the way. Jack's on Dempsey, throwing the ball, losing field position, and oh, there's a big gap there. Let's see what he can do with it. Pops the ball up.
I think early on, Canadians throwing passes they really ought not to be throwing. Take the tackle, I think, in the early stages.
Dempsey was hurt on that play. He's getting up slowly at the halfway line. Early kick in the tackle count.
Yeah, that's what we didn't see the other night. Neither team kicked early on, and I thought they should have. Not a lot of wind tonight like there was the other night in Jacksonville, so no benefits there. But still, early in the set, kick it ahead where you can, where you've got the space.
Very, very different conditions than the other night. It was terrible, windy, cold, and here we are. It's really just a perfect Florida evening in the early December.
Yeah,
couldn't ask for better weather.
You got to love it. It's December, and it was high 70s today. Fahrenheit, which is around 21, 22 degrees Celsius. Beautiful day today.
That's Farrell making good field position. The referee wasting no time blowing that whistle, holding down the tackle, and again Jamaica on the attack. At the 40-yard line, they'll kick for extra field advantage. Let's see what they can do with this set. That ball crossing over near the 30-yard line. Jamaica on the move. Pinnock. Thompson.
hopefully lead to effectively hold the tackle. It generally means that he will be put on the ground, hopefully on his back. We are trying to tackle him.
Thompson again.
Back will turtle him, so that it's a lot more.
So far, the Jamaicans haven't really got the ball out wide, any flowing movement, and Canadians have been able to shut them down so far.
So far, it seems to be very steady. There's Peltier again, and as does with that damaging run and bumping and weaving, making good yards there for Jamaica. He really seems to be the main attacking weapon.
Not bad for a big man. He got around 2 guys before he was brought
That's
down.
a nice little
that's
chip. It looks like it's taken out. The referee says it's okay and play on. It's very fortunate.
Yeah, I thought they might have given up a penalty there, the Wolverines.
Great fend.
It's Lewis Robinson, he's having a good game early on, the London Scarlets player.
And the referee again using that whistle as he did in the first game. Not afraid to blow it, and he seems to want to take control of this game early and create a free-flowing attacking game, but unfortunately a lot of stoppages. So let's see what Canada can do with this.
And Firehouse Subs have over 900 restaurants across the USA, Canada, the Caribbean, and Mexico. As the official title sponsor for the Rugby League World Cup qualifiers, we want to thank them for bringing this event to the United States. And you can visit them at firehousesubs.com.
There's Jax on Dempsey. Looks like he's okay now.
Yeah, he plays for East Tigers in Brisbane, Dempsey.
That's Robinson, the other prop. Canada making easy yards. Jax on Jax, and he's through that gap there. There he goes. It looks like, they've knocked it back, but over the line, and wow, that was so close. Canada threatening that line, throwing the ball out. Jamaica player just getting the fingertip to that and stopping the advantage, but the referee, he's calling a penalty. I'm not sure.
He went the wrong way, the Canadian. He looked the wrong way. He had a man on his right inside. He would have scored under the post. He looked left, through that, that wonky pass, and now the ball's gone back to Jamaica. Bad decision-making right there, and a chance definitely gone.
And so Jamaica gets out of jail on that play, and let's see what they can do with it now.
Yeah, but Canada, the more enterprising of the two sides so far.
Yeah, they're moving that ball around. Farrell there looking dangerous in attack. And you're right, he had that ball on the inside with that last play and really didn't do anything with it. Jamaica on the 50-yard line.
And a nice kick and chase there, looking for the touch. Is he going to find it?
Great field position, forcing them down on the corner, and that's an excellent kick and chase by Jamaica, exactly the start they wanted. Slow to get back onside, Jamaica, but still working that ball and driving them back in the tackle.
Again, this is something we didn't see from the Jamaicans on Friday night against the USA. They've certainly worked on their things that let them down the other night, I guess you'd say.
Third tackle on the 10-yard line. What can they do with it? There's Jax driven back. Not much happening in the play. Fifth and last tackle. They want to get a good kick in this set.
He does.
And that is a great kick, but perfectly positioned for the number 1 Lego. And there's that speed we were looking for, almost out wide. Can he stay in the field of play? He does. Jamaica already on the halfway line in this set. Great field position.
That is great field position for Jamaicans to start right on the 50-yard line.
A much different Jamaica team than the other night. They seem to have settled down and very content to play that ball. It's a long 80 minutes.
Well, it's only 10 minutes in, Steve. We'll see if they can keep this pace up.
And there's Peltier there doing that damaging run.
And that's his partner in crime there, Lamont Bryan, 13, taking it up.
Thompson already very busy with Jamaica from dummy half. Playing down the blind side. Another little kick and chase.
Yeah, that was ready, and that's what he did the other night to the US, you might remember.
Well, that's a poor attempted tackle, but Canada get the ball back. Another turn and attack on the 20-yard line. Oh, great defense from Jamaica. Big hit there. Nothing happening for Canada.
Dempsey. He hasn't really been able to make a whole heck of a lot of ground yet. And he was upended in that tackle.
He's hurt again. I think that might be the end of his night.
Yeah, he's holding his shoulder.
Referee saying the ball lost the tackle, and Jamaica applying great pressure in the forwards. I think the Canadian team's a little shell-shocked right now. Jamaica being very physical, taking it to the Canadian teams, and already we're seeing Canada with the weight of possession. Some great sets of 6 there with some kicking and chasing, pinning Canada down in their own half. And Jamaica again on the attack, 40 yards out. Let's see what they can do with it.
The official medical partner for the Firehouse Subs Rugby League World Cup qualifiers is Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Southeast Ortho have provided services to the Jacksonville Axemen and other local teams for more than 10 years. Visit them at se-ortho.com.
And we got space going here. Oh, if he'd got rid of that ball, there would have been something on there, but Jamaica still, here we go.
Shoughton brought him down at a nice ankle tackle.
There's Bryant. Second tackle. Simple stuff from Jamaica, but they are moving the ball up the field. Bryant at dummy half. Knocked backwards. Peltier.
I'm sure some people noticed.
He's a load, isn't he?
He's
really
a beast of a player,
he's
this
a hard
guy.
man to bring down, yeah.
Talking to the USA players the other night, they were feeling very sore after that game. They said the tackling was easy, the running into him really hurt. Farrell puts it in another little kick. Looks like that was knocked on. The referee saying knock back.
No, I think it came off. I think it came off the Canadian player's ankle. I don't think he played at it. That's fine.
Kelly.
Oh, head high shot there. That's got to be, yeah. Referee's going to pick him for that one.
Nothing deliberate about that, but it's still, Canada will take the advantage and some pressure relieved by getting that ball back, and they'll be able to move it down the field.
And you know what? I think had that not happened, I think Shoughton was away for the races. He looks like he's got some toe, this guy.
That's a great kick for extra field possession. Canada on the 50-yard line. Let's see what they can do with it. There's Shoughton again.
I tell you what, this guy's impressed me so far, Lewis Robinson. I haven't seen him play before tonight, but I've heard about him, and he's as good as what the Canadian camp says he is.
The referee again blowing that penalty, and I really wish we could have a game where we didn't have so many penalties being blown and have some free-flowing football, but he's determined to make his impression on the game.
And again, they didn't take a kick at goal. I mean, I said this the other night, and I believe it. In a test match like this,
Jack's down the blind side on the attack.
You know,
couple of yards out.
You've got to take the points when they're on offer in a big game like this, I think.
Shoughton at dummy half. Piatek to Jacks. Threatening. 5 yards out. Canada on the attack. This is their best field position yet. Dempsey. Oh, he looks like he's broken free. No, still playing. Fourth tackle. Jacks. Piatek. Taking that ball easily. That will put Jamaica in great field position on the 20-yard line with the extra advantage in attack. That will be 7 tackles. Jamaica moves the ball now easily up to the 30-yard line. But we did get to see Canada in attack for the first time, really, and they were threatening. There's plenty of spark in their attack.
Yeah, I still think, I still say they're the more enterprising of the two. So far, though, Jamaica holding its own, right?
Jamaica definitely physical, using their size, trying to push their way through the advantage line. I think it's going to be a great 80 minutes of football. 50-yard line, third tackle.
Yeah, a little bit lazy there.
Oh, he's broken. Oh, he's almost through. Fifth and last tackle. Looking to get a good kick. Easily taken by Timler.
First time we've called his name tonight.
He'll be happy to get that out the way. Wrap around. Stinging hit. Not sure the winger was supposed to be doing that play. Everybody could see it coming.
This guy only knows one way, doesn't he? Runs forward.
That is his job. Robinson, there's Jacks. Oh, again, smash the tackle, but equal there. And Jamaica away with the ball. Oh, ankle tap tackle. You could almost see, you could see the try line in the distance.
You see Canada, again, threw a pass they should not have thrown. It didn't need to be thrown. Now Jamaica's got the ball.
Coach Jim and Miller will have plenty to talk about already at halftime. Darting run down the blind side. Jamaica moving that ball 25 yards out.
No, that's a lousy play of the ball.
Lousy play the ball, but the referee saying that there was too much activity in the tackle, and Jamaica will get that ball on the 20-yard line, and they are going to settle it down, take a breather, and shoot for goal. 2 points on offer.
I'm glad to see someone's finally taken my advice. It's a big game. I mean, Jamaica needs to win. You got to roll on. You take the points when they're on offer. I don't know what the heck these guys are thinking by not doing that.
You're old school. I would have gone for it.
Well, no. Not in a game like this.
Points are everything, and right now Jamaica is 6 points behind, so even with the win tonight.
Let's talk about that, because we did our homework since the last game, and there's no extra time in these World Cup qualifying matches. There's no golden point. If it ends in a tie at the end of 80 minutes of regulation, it ends in a tie. At the end of the day, at the end of the third game, if everybody's tied at 1-1, for example, then it comes down to points differential and then a whole string of other tie-break criteria that the RLEF goes through before they determine a winner. So, like I say, points count. And these guys are already 6 points in arrears coming into this game.
Well, let's be very clear, though. You have to win. It's important that you win the game. These teams have to win at least one game. If each team wins one game, then it comes down to points differential. Yeah. Kick is up, and it's good.
Got it.
Jamaica, first points on the board. 18 minutes, not quite 18 minutes gone. Jamaica leading by a score of 2 points to 0. And they will get the ball back.
Yeah, I think you're right. You said before that the Canadians are a little bit shell-shocked. I don't know that I'd use the term shell-shocked, but I would say they're probably a little bit surprised by the game in what we're seeing from Jamaica tonight. I think they might have thought Jamaica would come out flat. They haven't so far. Mind you, we're only a quarter of the way through the game. We'll see, like I said earlier, if they can continue with this pace they've got going on.
There's the kick. Farrell again, passing to Miller, number 11. Thompson, dummy half. And there's Peltier. Look at that yards, great damaging run. He is a handful.
Yeah.
Barrel there, almost through the gap. Jamaica, a very different team. Referee saying holding, slowing them down, and boy oh boy, Canada are their own worst enemy right now in attack. Jamaica getting that ball back, and they'll really enjoy this weight of possession, and already 20 minutes into the game plan not going Canada's way. That fuel tank slowly being emptied with the amount of tackling they have to do.
They've been doing a lot of defending, you're right about that.
And I'm going to give the touch.
See if they can turn things around.
That's much better.
Kudos to the touch judge here on the near side of the field.
Thompson at dummy half. Peltier, he wanted a rest, but he's got the ball. He's okay. He's content to run it forward, but he looked like he was hiding back there. Didn't exactly wind up like he normally does. Hanson. Farrell. Pushing the ball wide.
Nicely read by the Canadians there. They shut that one down. That was
Goro.
Goro, yeah.
Jamaica, a very different team than the first game. Content to do more one-up passing through the middle. We thought we'd see them spin the ball wide, maybe later. Little chip and kick. Touch there. 6 more tackles. Jamaica will get the ball back. And on the attack.
They're knocking on the door, Steve.
They really are. They can smell blood. Jamaica team. Looks like he's over the line. Referee's looking to the side. He's going to give it. And that's Jamaica scoring again by Lamont Bryan. And boy, oh boy, this is a very different game. Jamaica scoring 6 points to 0, 20 minutes into the first half.
Over Canada. The kick will be taken perpendicular from where the ball was actually.
Well, we're seeing just an incredible performance by them so far.
This is not the same Jamaican team we saw the other night, as you said before. These guys have a lot more, well, it seems like they've got fitter all of a sudden since last Friday night, and they've certainly got some game in them. And they're, you know, what they're doing is they're taking it up and they're taking on the Canadian forwards. And so far, I think in the last 10 minutes or so, they're winning that battle, aren't they?
They really are. You're talking to the players the other night after the game, and they really felt that had the game gone on another 10 more minutes against the USA team, that they would have got the victory, but they didn't. USA leads the first game, 20 points to 14, +6 advantage so far. And right now, it's an even playing field with Jamaica being 6-0, likely to be 8-0.
And we need to send a huge thank you to the city of DeLand for making this game possible tonight in Central Florida, and for growing rugby league in Central Florida by allowing Spec Martin to be the home of the Central Florida Warriors. And that's good.
That ball looks like it's gone over the roof. 8-0. 18 minutes left of the first half.
You call extra points.
Yeah, so much for talk of this being a blowout to Canada. It's early days yet, like I say, only a quarter of the way through, but 8 points down now. And you know what, they started well. I thought they were more enterprising, but the last 10 minutes or so, when Jamaica's had the ascendancy, Canada's been, well, has been defending that whole time, Steve, and I wouldn't say they're tired yet, but a lot of guys got their hands on their hips and sucking in some deep ones.
Preparation is such an important part of this tournament. Jamaica already been on the ground now. This is their second game, obviously, but more time to prepare. Canada arrived in town Saturday night, and that's a little cheeky kick and chase, but a double knock on.
Yeah, that's too bad. I think the Canadians...
Referee will play the advantage and bring the scrum back to the 30-yard line. Canada knocking on the ball, and not sure why they wanted to think they could get the ball back, but Jamaica now on the 30-yard line, and that play not working for Canada. And again, unnecessary stuff so early in the game. It's an 80-minute game of football. We're only 20 minutes in.
Well, that was the left winger, Billy Gemmell, and had he picked that up like he had planned to, might have been a different story. But again, enterprising play. Canada prepared to roll the dice a little bit, do something a little bit unorthodox or certainly unexpected.
"30-yard line, first tackle. Number 17, Wade, on the field. It's the first time we've called his name. Pennock. Agaro again in the tackle. Sorry, that's Brian. Farrell looking dangerous. He's had a great game so far.
Well, he's doing what he didn't do the other night. He's making better decisions.
Much better decisions. Towering kick. Lots of time in the air. Easily taken. A driving tackle back. Jamaica forcing them, and that's great field position. Look at that driving them. Oh.
He's lost about 20 meters right there.
He's lost about 20 meters and going to need a rest after that. That was great defense by Jamaica. They are really sticking it to the Canadian team.
Yeah, that was fullback Lugo who got pushed right back.
Fell into the tackle, almost head high, but he slipped as he was coming down. Canada not, that was almost forward. Referee didn't call it. That's better for the Canadian team. Fourth tackle. Canada on the attack. Jacks. Donnelly popping that ball out. There's the other Jacks. Fifth and last. And a towering kick. Plenty of time. He does a great job of taking it there. That's Retty, the fullback.
He bobbled it, but he got away with that one.
Everyone's heart was in the throat on that one. And some, pop the ball out. Canada now on the attack. There's Shouten breaking through, and he has got some speed.
Yeah, he was able to break that tackle. I do like this guy, I got to say.
15 yards out. Canada on the attack. Jacks, nothing happening. Pops that ball, Shouten. Losing it back, and Jamaica get the ball. And they are on the attack again, 40 yards. 10 yards inside their own half. Spreading the ball wide, here we go. It's Bryan. Great yards, still moving. 20 yards out. Canada still getting back onside. Wade with the ball.
That's all Jamaica at the moment, isn't it?
It is all Jamaica. Canada really struggling. He chased up in that line. It did work. We've got something happening here. And looks like Jamaica's going to go again and score. Easily scoring in the corner. Number 2, Alex Brown. And Jamaica, with Canada was on the attack, and they looked like they had the possession and they could turn this around, making a simple panic football. Jamaica moving the ball up the field, spinning the ball out wide, scoring in the corner. And what a game we're seeing here. Jamaica scoring again, 12 points to nil, kick to come.
Yeah, I mean, who knew? That's what they said they want to do. They want to spin the ball out wide. They want to do it fast. They did it that time, and it all came from a breakdown in play back here in their own half. When the Canadians spilled the ball, it was picked up cleanly by the Jamaicans. They went forward with it and eventually scored in the corner. Now we'll see if Farrell can convert.
And that was great work by Bryan there, Lamont Bryan, who really down the left side did that damaging run, and then they spun the ball all the way to the other side of the field and scored in the corner.
Yeah, he's another deceptive runner too, Steve, Lamont Bryan. I mean, he's a big man, and he got through a couple of tackles, and he kept going, and he dragged them with him.
Crazy tournament so far.
Well, this makes things interesting, doesn't it? Well, it's not over yet, of course. We've got a long way to go.
Plenty of football. That's Farrell kicking from the sideline. Big kick, great distance, but pushed it slightly to the right. Score remains. The scoreboard has not been updated. Oh, there we go. 12 points to nil.
Yeah, and special thanks to Bill and Frank's Brickhouse Grill for hosting the USA Hawks pregame appearance, and to Brian's Barbecue for hosting the official after-game party. And Steve, I guess, you know, the Canadian coach was commenting to us before the game about the small field, small size of the field. It is an American football field, so it's going to be a little narrower than what they're used to, but obviously to the Jamaicans' liking, I would say.
Canada's slowly walking back. I'm sure that they're just not sure of what to make of this this Jamaican team. The fans who have travelled some great distance to see this game be cheering their boys on. Well, it's still a 2-score game.
You know, there are a lot of Canadian fans in the crowd tonight, and flags are waving, and they're wearing the jerseys and all the rest of it. So far, not much to cheer about.
Christian Miller there. That's Peltier. No, that's number 20. Hutchinson. It's the first time we've called his name tonight.
I think he's just come on. I think you're giving somebody a spell on the sidelines.
Looks like Peltier on the sideline taking a break. Fantastic performance by the Jamaican team so far.
Well, you know, like we said in the pregame, Steve, the Jamaicans haven't beaten Canada since 2010, so it's been a long time between drinks, as it were, and we'll see if they can carry on with this and make it count.
Towering kick, taking it easily. Looked like a dog chasing his tail there, going around in circles, but that is Adam Timler.
Yeah, really, he had nowhere to go. The Jamaican defense has been pretty good. They went up in their faces, haven't they?
That's Legault getting into action. Jacks to Craig.
A little bit of one-out running at the moment by the Canadians. They need to find some support there.
He was looking for support, but there was nothing on offer. They are tired, and that's Antonio Blanc.
That's the warrior. They call the man. They call the warrior.
Mawawa, sorry, not Blanc. Whoop, little chip and chase. Not getting the bounce, but Canada picks that ball up, and then they look. Ooh, they scored.
Was that a bit forward?
Referee's going to give it.
Bring it around.
Going for the insurance under the black dot, and now Canada have clawed their way back and scoring. Referee's going to see the sideline, the touch judge. There's something happening in the tackle.
Well, I don't know. I thought that last pass might have been a touch forward. He's saying it doesn't count. He's waved it off. He's now pointing a...
They'll be disappointed with that.
Yeah. I wonder what that was about. He's having a word with the Canadian side now. You thought there was something in the tackle. I thought the pass was a little bit forward, but you don't get a penalty from a forward pass.
Fortunately, we don't have the replay to see what happened. Just the delay stream. I think he's called a forward pass. Difficult to say, but regardless, Jamaica will get the ball back. Canada, something on offer, but fortunately, not today.
Yeah, that's a bit sad for the Canadian standpoint, I guess. That's the second time they were knocking on the door. This time they seemingly got through, but did something wrong in the process and got pinged for it, and Jamaica gets the penalty.
Back on the attack.
That's
and that
a nice
kick.
Yeah, right up to the halfway line.
Lucky not to keep that. Halfway line. Here we go. What can they do? It's the winger Lagoa getting involved. Hutchinson.
Oh, good in-your-face defense right there.
That was Brown. Brian with the ball. Rowie. There's Farrell. He's been busy tonight. Hutchinson, who's come on for Reynolds here, he's done a great job.
Yeah, that kick just a little bit too deep. You can see Farrell had the idea there of kicking for his winger, but to put them under pressure, just booted it a bit too deep. Jeez, referee says that's a knock-on.
It's a knock-on both ways, he's calling it. And Jamaica will get the ball back. And Canada's starting to blow up here under this pressure. The bounce of the ball not going their way, and the frustrations are showing on the field. Jamaica, the bounce of the ball and the whistle in their favor.
Steve, I got to say, without the benefit of replay, I'm questioning that one. I thought, yeah, he bobbed it, he knocked it up in the air, but he went backwards for one, and it came off a Canadian hand. The Canadian retrieved it, same guy, as a matter of fact. So I don't see how that's how it's a knock-on.
Inconsistent regardless. Jamaica on the attack. That's Farrell back on the inside.
That was a bit
and the referee calling it forward, and that play cancels each other out. It was a little flat. Not sure if it was terribly forward, but enough to stop the play. And Canada will breathe a sigh of relief.
Players and volunteers from the Jacksonville Axemen and the Central Florida Warriors played a big part in event operations. You can find all rugby league teams in the USA by visiting usarl.com.
Take control, take possession, right on the 30.
7.5 minutes left. Scored 12-0 to Jamaica over Canada. Game 2 of the Firehouse Subs Rugby League World Cup qualifiers, coming to you live from Speckmart Stadium in DeLand, Florida.
And so far it's been a surprise result, hasn't it? Because we weren't expecting this from the Jamaicans.
Not at all. They'll be delighted to go into the sheds leading, but we still have 7 minutes left in this half.
And that is Enoch Wamalwa. I'll get that pronunciation right eventually.
Great hit again from Jamaica. Not afraid to throw their body on the line. Canada on the attack. 50 yards out. Jacks. Piatek. Jacks. Spreading that ball.
See, Canada's got some skill out there. They just don't get it out there enough, I don't think.
Moving that ball, big gap.
Yeah, it's big Tom
Great hit
Dempsey.
there, came inside. That was Wade for Jamaica making that tackle. Puts a little chip and chase. Legault there, cleaning up. More enterprising from the Canadian team. Second tackle. Hutchinson again. He's been busy since coming off the bench.
Canada wants to keep them pinned in their own quarter on this occasion, this set.
Big hit there on Farrell.
It's more like what we expected.
Sloppy play the ball. The referee calling a penalty and an incorrect play the ball. And Canada, and there's a bit of push and shove in the tackle. They don't like that. More frustration. Sloppy play the ball and the referee calling it.
Now, do they take the 2?
I think at this stage they'll want to take more than 2 points. I know he's packing down a scrum. Couldn't quite get those hand signals. I might have to have a word with him.
I thought it was a full penalty.
Coming up at halftime, we have Danny Kazanjian, who is the general manager of the Rugby League European Federation and tournament director, joining us. So please stick around at halftime.
Yep, go and put your kettle on now and get that cold one out of the fridge if you need. Now it should be interesting to hear what Danny has to say about all this.
We do, of course, have to have official medical partners.
I don't think it's a scrum, Steve. I think it was I am pretty sure he awarded a penalty to the Canadians from an infringement in the play of the ball. And, well, yeah, he's awarding a penalty.
Probably too much chatter in the tackle, or very difficult to see what he was calling there.
We'll see what they can do. I mean, they need to be the next team to score, that's for sure.
On the attack.
It's Alex Boyd, first time he's touched the ball tonight, coming off the bench. There's the Warrior trying to bust through, but not on that occasion. They were pretty equal to the task.
Spinning the ball, Jacks. Piatek looking for a gap. Nothing there. Jacks at dummy half on the attack. Canada, can they score? Nothing moving. Pushes the ball out wide and they pop it up, and a lost opportunity. Jamaica breathes a sigh of relief. And Canada looking threatening, but nothing happening.
Well, you know, the Canadians have been committing turnovers at the rate of 3-1 against the Jamaicans. So they only really have themselves to blame so far, because that was a good opportunity. Again, I thought they probably went the wrong way. They could have gone left. They had more men to burn out that way. Instead, they went right, and a bad pass ended up into touch.
The Canadian team, this is uncharacteristic of them making this many errors. Usually they're quite fresh in their attack, but this is Jamaican team being very physical and really forcing them and putting them on the back foot.
Yeah, look, Jamaica, all credit to them. They're certainly taking it to the Canadians, and they're doing it quite well, as we see again.
Moving the ball there, Jamaica on the attack. 5 minutes left, still in the half, plenty of football left. Halfway line, second tackle.
And you can see the last couple of tackles from the Jamaican player.
Brown.
Even his third tackle, being able to find his front, not allowing himself to be tipped on his
Bryan,
back, getting a quick
Farrell losing the ball.
there is a mistake.
Canada getting that back, 40-yard line.
Yes, the basics of rugby league. I definitely
They need to score going into the half. It's Shoughton.
Top there by the Reggae Warriors, taking the pressure off the Canadian Wolverines, gathering tackle 2 here, starting away right on the halfway mark.
Milder hasn't seen much of the ball today. Jacks.
As Dempsey again, he's been doing that so far all night, and again, this is exactly what's been happening. He hasn't been able to break the line at all.
He's favouring that shoulder as he got up in that play again. He's hurt, but staying on the field.
Yeah, well, he's one of the debutants, and there's no way he wants to come off.
Jacks
in his first
Piatek.
game. Oh.
Shoughton again, losing that ball. He'll be frustrated. His hands haven't been that safe tonight. Plenty of opportunities, but he's coughed the ball up a number of times.
Yeah, they've doubled the amount of turnovers that the Jamaicans had tonight.
Referee calling a high tackle. I don't agree with the call. He lost that ball clean, but the sideline referee.
Well, in the referee's defense, I will say that anything these days, anything above the shoulders, whether it's dangerous or accidental or anything, poof, they're going to penalise you, aren't they?
I don't mind, just be consistent.
You're saying he's not?
Not saying anything.
Just saying.
Just saying. Canada on the attack.
Oh,
spilled his lollies, and this thing's bouncing around. I think that's a triple knock on. The referee's going to say that feed is going to Jamaica.
Yeah, it has to. It's Wamalwa coughed it up. I think what happened there, Steve, is he took a quick peek at who was coming up to hit him, and in the process, knocked the ball on.
You could see the whites of his eyes charging towards him, and that ball just flew out of his hands.
Yeah, and the Jamaicans have been laying on some big hits tonight, so I guess he was kind of anticipating what was going to happen.
2 minutes, 2.5 minutes left in the half. Jamaica leading by a score of 12 points to 0. Spreading that ball wide already. Coach Zimmermeer will have plenty to talk about at halftime. Jamaica really had the weight of possession here and capitalized on the opportunities. Canada, however, we've seen some spark and attack, but too many errors.
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to preparation and how much time this team has spent together working as a team. They'll look to iron out these mistakes in the second game, but we still have 40 minutes of football left.
Well, Steve, what's happened is Coach Timmerley came to Canada a couple of weeks ago, and he had some training camps with the BC and Alberta guys, and he flew into the east and had some more with Ontario. And then they've only got down here most of the guys on Sunday, Monday, so they haven't had a lot of time together.
And that was a Falcon, it looks like. And Canada picking up the ball. Piatek. Oh, no. That was Jackson. Somebody's hurt.
Wrong guy.
And there's two players collided into each other.
Yeah, I think that was accidental. I think the winger there, Gemmell, I think he ran into Jax accidentally. I think Jax was looking to offload someplace, and in the process, bam, didn't see him.
He's hurt.
So again, the Canadians have had more line breaks, and there's been more action going on in the open field with Canada in possession, but they haven't been able to convert that yet.
But they've also surrendered a lot of possession as well. And
Oh,
again,
yeah.
I yelled the term Falcon. It's an old rugby league term when a ball bounces off a player's head. You don't hear it. You see about one Falcon a year, but it's always great to call it and use that terminology.
You know, there were a lot last season in the NRL, not so many this time. But it's hilarious, isn't it? Not for the guy getting bonked.
Not for the guy getting bogged in the head, for sure. These footballs, they can weigh a bit.
Yeah, they can, especially on a wet night, which isn't tonight, fortunately. We've got a perfectly dry, perfectly prepared pitch, I think you'd have to say. Because this is a multi-purpose pitch. They play rugby league, obviously, as we're seeing tonight. They play soccer, and they play American football here too. But in summertime, it's mainly rugby league, isn't it?
Referees called the penalty. Not sure why. Those players look like they collided into each other. That seemed a little unfair.
Yeah, maybe he's saying that Jamaicans pushed one guy into the other guy. I don't think he did.
I don't think he did. That was a simple case of physics.
Yeah. Unless Sharpen's a gamer, isn't he?
He's a gamer, but he's been costly with his turnovers. A little too active.
Well, you get no!
Characteristic of Jax. Oh, the hands. There's really no reason or understanding why this happened. It's very dry conditions out there, and with 40 seconds left on the clock, another squandered opportunity by the Canadian team.
Oh, Coach Timmerley he's going to be seething. Yeah.
We have to comment here that the Speckmart Stadium, a fantastic venue here, which is home to the Central Florida Warriors, who had a great run in the 2015 USARL competition, making it all the way to the South Conference Final, losing to the Atlanta Rhinos, who went on to lose to the Boston 13s in the championship. But Speckmart Stadium is among the better facilities in the USARL competition, and just a fabulous environment for rugby league.
You know it is. I would concur with that, and it's a pretty decent crowd tonight. They've been coming in dribs and drabs, filling up the stands. Oh, now we're starting to see some missed tackles on the Canadians' behalf.
And that's the referee calling half-time. And Jamaica, surprise leaders over Canada, 12 points to 0. The competition favourites are on the back foot. Jamaica Reggae Warriors. Well, we're a little surprised by this, or are we?
No, we're very surprised by this, Steve. I can tell you that penalties Jamaica's had 4 that I've seen. Canada's had 3 turnovers. Canada's given away 6 possessions. Jamaica only 2. So, like I say, Canadians really, they did come in here with the favoritism tag. Sure, I put that on them maybe, but I think you have to do that because of the recent form they've had. I don't know how they won the Colonial Cup with this kind of form. I mean, it's beyond me. How'd that happen? I didn't see it. You were there.
Well, strangely enough, it was a different Canada team, and again, the heritage players that have been brought in for this tournament for overseas, we expected them to be doing a lot of damage, but they haven't really been that threatening in attack. The Jacks brothers, again, playing at the number 9 and the number 6 position, looking to form that combination, but it just hasn't been there.
No, it hasn't. I'm a little bit disappointed in Big Tom Dempsey, blindside prop there from East Tigers. East is a great club in the QRL, the Intra Super Cup in the QRL in Queensland, and he's been plying his trade there for a while, working his way up the grades, through the age grades and so forth. I thought he would have had a bigger impact. I also think that
I'm not sure how well he is. We saw him get hurt earlier on in that game, and he's favouring that shoulder, that right shoulder of his, and again in another tackle we saw 5 minutes before the half, him getting up slowly and favouring it.
Yeah, and the Jacks brothers too, I would have expected more from them because one of them is actually the co-captain along with Steve Piatek. He's the other co-captain. So I don't know what to tell you. I think that the Canadians are a little bit, you might be able to say shell-shocked now. You said that earlier in the game. I'm thinking at halftime down 12-zip. Certainly surprised, certainly expected to be in front at this point of the game. I know that I had a good meeting with the Canadians earlier in the week. I spoke with Coach Zimmerly at length, and he was pretty confident coming into this game because of all the, well, not just the heritage players, but with his domestic crop of guys. He said they won the Colonial Cup, which they did. He said they've got a super aggressiveness in them. He said they're good with the carry the football. Well, tonight we've seen so many knock-ons and drop balls by the Canadians. I'm starting to think, well, what were you telling me? What games were you watching?
And what about Jamaica, who has stood out for you? It's been a great performance from them, a very physical performance, and we're getting to see some of that speed and running that we talked about.
Well, I think, I don't know how many times you've called these names, but I think, again, Ross Peltier and Lamont Bryan are, 2 guys you have to mention. I think Joel Farrell's having a better game than he had the other night. And I think that overall, and Wayne Reddy, he's been solid at fullback. Nothing spectacular, nothing sensational or scintillating, but he's been solid, and that's what you want in your fullback.
So joining me now in the booth is Danny Kazanjian, who is the General Manager of the Rugby League European Federation and Tournament Director of the Firehouse Subs Rugby League World Cup Qualifiers Americas. Danny, it's an absolute pleasure having you in the booth with us today. Welcome.
Thank you, Steve. Good to be here.
Now that you've had a chance to look and watch all 3 teams, what is your take on the standard of rugby league being played, and have you noticed a difference in the different styles of rugby league between the 3 different countries?
I think the aspect that jumps off the page is really the commitment that all 3 teams have made. Some of the tackling has been really, really fierce. Some of the pride in the goal line defence has been spectacular. I think it's easy to fall into cliches about styles of play and categorising the Jamaicans as a team that offloads at free will. But I think today they've really shown that they're able to play a really tough, tight game, and that's serving them well at the moment. Canada just coming off the plane. It's difficult to make a judgment on them in the first 40 minutes, but I think the US played the conditions really well, and it's a really, really evenly fought contest at the moment.
It's been so fantastic so far for the fans watching it, both in the stadium, in the stands, and online. And we were talking about Speckmart Stadium before, and wonderful facilities here, but also in Jacksonville. That Jacksonville is quickly becoming the home of rugby league in the USA, and Coach McDermott is returning with Leeds, the Leeds Rhinos, who were the Triple Crown winners in the UK last year. They're returning for training camp in Jacksonville next month. How do you rate the facilities, and can you see even larger events taking place in this area or in America in the future?
The facilities, as you say, Steve, are first class. We've been really well treated by all of the facilities here. They've all bent over backwards to provide every service possible to not only the tournament but all of the 3 teams involved. Absolutely, as the sport in America expands and goes into new areas, then it's really normal and to think that lots more big events and well-known teams will come out here for training camps, for competitions, for tours. So yeah, I think as the game progresses, we'll certainly see that.
And of course, everybody's fighting to win this tournament. It's a big deal. It's a trip to the big dance, to the 2017 Rugby League World Cup. The 2013 Rugby League World Cup was such a successful event, but we anticipate that this one will be even bigger. But other than the team that wins this tournament, and other than competing in the World Cup, how else does the nation benefit from winning this tournament? What does it mean to them beyond just participating?
Well, it's first-class international rugby league, first and foremost. And as I said in my previous comments, the passion that all of the countries have shown, the commitment that the players have shown, means that winning for their national flag is really utmost in their own sense of importance. And it's really great to see. I think we need to see more representative rugby league in all of the 3 countries. We're working closely with them to make sure that they all receive tours. I know that the Canadians and the Jamaicans are working together on youth tours, which would be a first. So I just think having first-class international rugby league in this part of the world is something that, as we have seen from the facilities and from the quality of the matches, belongs and just feels right.
And so now we have to talk about the big discussion, which is over TV rights and money, which has made plenty of headlines really on the rugby league scene with a new deal in the NRL. And with those discussions about TV rights, what will happen with the funds for the international development? What sort of support from both the European Federation and International Federation exists for these 3 teams in Americas to compete on a more regular basis?
Well, the International Federation's got a really clear funding structure. It funds full members. It also provides discretionary funding through the confederations, namely the Asia Pacific Rugby League Confederation and the Rugby League European Federation. The game is growing at such a rapid rate. We in the European Federation started off with, I believe, 8 members in 2003. Now we're dealing with 33 countries.
Wow.
So the importance and the responsibility of the game to constantly increase revenue, to be able to support the fantastic work that goes out on in the field, is paramount. The International Federation realises that. The World Cup, as you mentioned before, was a success both on the field and financially. We're really gearing up for a fantastic event in 2017, and the proceeds from that tournament will be entirely ploughed back into the development of the game.
So let's talk about this competition format and the format of the Americas. Has there been any discussion around expanding the Rugby League World Cup from 14-team format to 16 teams? And does the possibility exist of including more than 1 team from the Americas? Is this something that we could expect perhaps for the 2021 Rugby League World Cup?
I think as a lot of the listeners and viewers will know, that the International Federation has hired its first chief executive earlier this year, David Collier. So David's remit is obviously to grow the game. One of the biggest vehicles, the biggest vehicle the International Federation has got is the World Cup. So while no decision has been made at the moment about 2021, it's entirely plausible to think that the International Federation will be seeking to increase the number of teams. I'm sure that an announcement will be made in due course on that.
Well, it's great to see rugby league being played in this part of the world, and it's a fantastic tournament so far. And Danny, thanks very much for joining us at halftime. It's nothing better than getting it directly from the tournament director, and we appreciate everything you're doing to grow the game in North America.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
That was Danny Kazanjian, the General Manager of the Rugby League European Federation and Tournament Director of the Firehouse Subs Rugby League World Cup Qualifiers. And Brian...
Well, some good news there, some encouraging things, I think.
Fantastic. And again, we were saying beforehand how really being at a tournament like this and being able to speak to people like Danny and meet people like Coach McDermott and so forth, with the USA team. It's really a fantastic environment. And while the frustrations of being a fledgling nation to help grow the game, you get opportunities like this to meet some really key people.
Yeah, I did an interview recently with David Collier, Danny was talking about, and I asked him that question about, well, you made the comment that North America, USA and Canada is a key growth area for the RLIF in future, and he came back and he said, yeah, it is, and we expect to start, pouring money into it, not pouring money, but injecting money into it and helping things develop in these two countries in 2018, like from 2018 to 2025 was his time frame that he was talking about. So we got a couple more years to go before we hit that. But look, having these tournaments in this country, well, in any of the three, I suppose, for that matter, is a good thing. And one can only hope that we're going to see more of it. I think what I keep saying both, what all three countries need is more international competition. I know Jamaica cries out for that. The Americans and the Canadians, yeah, they can play each other 2 or 3 times a year, but they need something more, In the past, from World Cups that were played in the UK, for example, the Australian Kangaroos stopped here and they played a game against the USA in Philadelphia.
Well, we all remember that one.
That was a great game. That's the kind of thing you need.
And that was such a close game, and that was such a close game for the US team, and it really shocked everybody in that tournament where they were able to lead so early. And even though Australia had just gotten off the plane and they had put to the sword, but managed to turn it around. And again, it wasn't like the miracle on ice or anything, but we're still talking about it all these years later. All right, we're back after half time. Canada kicking off. Jamaica leading by a score of 12 points to 0. Let's see, we still have got 40 minutes of football, plenty of time left.
Let's see if the Canadians have made any adjustments. And for one thing, the tackling needs to sharpen up a little bit, the ball handling certainly, and don't make silly passes, because that's what let them down in the first half.
And that is the massive player, number 20.
It's
Hutchinson, who's really been fantastic off the bench today.
He's a bench player, but he's been on there for like 20, 30 minutes. Yeah.
Been sensational. They're really a big unit, this Jamaican team. We were talking about the Canadian team was a big forward pack, but I think we're starting to see that they may not be. There's Lego. He hasn't had much action.
He has not had a good night. Every time he's had the ball, he's been pounded.
Oh, there's Canada through there. Oh, it's going to be a speed contest. Winger on winger.
Oh, that's Gemmell.
That's Gemmell mowing him down.
Nice run there by Gemmell.
And that's Alex Brown that mowed him down on the tackle. Canada on the tack early in the half. They'll be happy with this. And that's a cutout pass. Moving the wide. Broken free. He didn't have to throw that into touch.
That's what I've been talking about all night, Steve. Don't make these silly passes. Take the tackle.
This is so uncharacteristic of the Canadian team. But that was enterprising, and they're moving the ball freely, looking a little bit better. But again, that panic football, unnecessary. He didn't look like he was going into touch.
And even if he was, okay, they would have turned over possession. But look where they are. They're on the 20-meter line.
It'll be a strong feed to the Jamaicans here.
Jamaica back with the ball. First tackle, 20-yard line. Brian. Onto Barnett. We haven't seen much of him tonight.
Oh,
lost the ball.
There's a mistake.
Retty there. Silly play. Looking up. Should have kept his eye on the ball.
Yeah, sometimes players do that, don't they? We saw that earlier by the Canadians. You take a quick peek and bang, lose the ball.
Saw Jack's on the ground there stretching out. Could be cramping, but he's back up.
Jamaica's on defense. They've got a flat line. Canada is spread out all over.
That's Piatek feeding the ball out wide. Shoughton hasn't had a good game so far. Looked dangerous, but he's lost the ball.
He's not afraid to take it into contact, is he, for a center?
While Malwa.
Yeah. Enoch the Warrior, they call him.
Jacks. Here we go. This is better from Canada.
Yeah, they're threatening.
Milner. Jacks. Jacks.
Good ball and all there by Farrell on his opposite number.
Piatek. Dempsey. Jacks again. Little kick, nothing happening.
Yeah, that was
bringing that ball out.
That was a low percentage play, Steve.
Really was. These are short in goals, but he could have done a better job with that. Jamaica getting the ball back. But we're seeing Canada a little bit better this time in the second half. That's good driving defense.
Yeah, they've got to pin him back here. This is the whole idea. Game part of the game plan. Don't let him break out.
And that was Brown, almost through half a gap. Farrell cut out on the 30-yard line. Fourth tackle. Jamaica on the move. Fifth tackle. They want to get a good kick in. Not much breeze. Touched in flight. Good field position. Good hit there by Pinnock. Jacks. Great hit on Milner. Driving him back. Second tackle. Looks suspect forward. Wamawa. He's a big unit, that boy.
He causes a lot of havoc, doesn't he, sometimes?
You can almost feel the hits from up here. Through the gap. Great flick pass over the top. Regathered. Enterprising, but not enough. Popping that ball out.
That was too bad because that was looking very promising for the Wolverines. Had that pass stuck, I think they might have been home and hosed.
And again, but this is international football. This is not hot dog football. You can't be forcing those types of passes when they're not on. They have to be more content to play the ball, keep it simple. But Canada, their own worst enemy right now. Story of the first half coming back to hurt them again in the second half.
That's right. The Firehouse Subs have over 900 restaurants across the USA, Canada, the Caribbean and Mexico. As the official title sponsor for the Rugby League World Cup qualifiers, we want to thank them for bringing this event to the United States. You can visit them at firehousesubs.com.
Brian feeding the ball out of the tackle. That's Farrell. High work rate tonight. Slow play the ball. And that was Brown. He's a big winger. He's a big unit. So many of these Jamaican players coming across from the UK where they play in the Champions League.
Yeah, they've got about 14, I think, of these guys in their squad this time. And we didn't see them do a whole heck of a lot the other night, but tonight, different story.
That's Pinnock again. He's had a good night so far. Nothing flash. Solid in attack, great in defense. Farrell putting the ball up. Good kick. Simple chase, 15-yard line. Canada back on the attack. The players already walking back on side. 20-yard line, second tackle. Shelton. Jacks at dummy half. They're going to need to quicker play the ball. That's Donnelly showing no effects of that shoulder.
He must have had the magic sponge at halftime, eh?
Magic sponge and needle. That's Legault. Jacks. Kicking early. Looking to pin them back.
That was a better place kick.
Brown winding up. Solid run. Retty. Quick to get that ball out. Winding up there. That's Barnett. Retty. to Brian.
One of the try scorers in the first half.
There's Peltier back on the field again. He was probably the most damaging player in the first half for Jamaica. It's a good kick, but a little too deep.
Yeah, too much lead
unnecessary, and instead of a good kick and chase, Canada will get the ball back at the 20-yard line, and that's not the result they wanted, because they will have an extra play in this set of 6, now a set of 7. First tackle, Jacks at dummy half.
Another guy, I think, like I said in the first half, I think he's played pretty well tonight, Lewis Robinson.
He's had to carry a lot of the work.
Oh, dear me. This is what we're talking about, Steve. That's just a breakdown of fundamentals right there.
Taking his eyes off the ball, he could see the Jamaica players rushing towards him, but he had plenty of time for that tackle. It was an easy pass. There's no excuse for that. And
no, at this level, like you say, you can't be dropping passes like that.
And the game's starting to frustrate the Canadian team. You can see them. They're all shaking their heads. They weren't expecting this. 10 minutes gone in the first half. Jamaica leading by a score of 12 points to 10. Sorry, 12-0.
I'm sure Canada wishes it was 12-10.
Yeah.
Particularly their fans who made the trip down here to DeLand in Central Florida.
Ooh, almost through there. And he's hurt. Is that Shelton?
Yeah, tackler
Looks
got hurt.
winded.
No, I think it might be.
Jamaica on the attack, 30 out, second tackle.
You're right, it was Shelton.
Farrell. That's Brian. This is good by Jamaica.
They're keeping it in tight tonight, and they're actually making yards every time they have the ball.
Igaro, he's been busy tonight. What can they do? Last tackle.
Inside the 10
on
now.
Little kick, easily taken though, in the in-goal area. Canada will get the ball back on the 20-yard line. An extra play. Jamaica needs to hurry it up. Let's let go. He'll be frustrated with that. He was hoping to run that ball on and catch Jamaica napping in defense.
That's James Kelly there, the prop. He's, the second rower. They call him the Sheriff. He was actually the Player of the Year in British Columbia this year.
Well, we haven't seen much of him today. He's had a fairly quiet game.
Yeah, as have most of them.
There's a driving defense. Dempsey. Jacks scooting up from dummy half.
You know, there's just no way through this line, is there, at the moment? Canada try as they might. They flip from one side to the other, and Jamaica's holding firm.
Kelly again. Jacks puts the boot. High ball. Letting that bounce. They'll get that back. It's knocked on, and the referee will call offside, and that is what we refer to in rugby league terms as an accidental offside. The player touched the ball forward, and the Jamaica player standing in front of them. And it's a crazy rule in the game, but
it's also what I was talking about the other night, Steve. That's why you don't let the ball bounce. Exactly why you don't.
And it wasn't a great kick, but they knew what they were doing. Wait, the referee has seen something else.
The official medical partner for the Firehouse Subs Rugby League World Cup qualifiers is Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Southeast Ortho have provided services to the Jacksonville Axemen and other local teams for more than 10 years. You can visit them at se-ortho.com.
This will be a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, referee saw something in there. I don't know, maybe it was a bit of push and shove, a bit of argy-bargy off the ball.
Yeah, not much happening there. The penalty will still stand. Back to the original position for the offside. Canada.
Well, they got to score. They have to be the next team to score, and they know that.
Reece Jacks taking that. And that's Robinson on the attack. 10 yards out.
He always makes yards, that guy, whenever he has the ball, doesn't he?
What can they do with it? This is their chance.
Oh, dear me.
Canada, we've seen it so many times tonight, and
they're just their own worst enemy. They keep shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, this is not only a rugby league test match, it's a match that you're going to need to win to get yourself in calculations for the Rugby League World Cup. You can't be making mistakes like that, Steve. Not repeatedly, anyway.
Well, again, that preparation is such an important piece, and even though Coach Zimmermehl was able to travel with the Canadian team and visit the different provinces and work with them, there's really nothing like team chemistry and these guys coming together and working together, and we've seen that with the US team already.
And we're seeing it tonight with Jamaica. Their game the other night, they were really rusty and nothing worked for them. Tonight, everything seems to be working for them.
They are clicking.
Yeah, and it's the flip side is the nothing going right for the Canadians.
Jamaica with the ball, 25 yards out from their halfway line. Peltier there with it. Another great run. It's a big 10 yards by the referee. It's Farrell, puts the kick in. Great field position, pushing them back. That's a terrific kick.
Yeah, that was a heads-up play. Big empty space right there. And Legault,
great kick and chase, bringing them down, pinning them back.
Legault just couldn't get away, couldn't get free.
Speed is something else with the Jamaican team. An open play. You saw Canada get a great with their wingers where it was man on man, and really it wasn't even a contest.
Yeah. There's still a long way to go. However, Canada needs to score, need to do it quick because they've got a couple of scores to make.
It's Robinson again. He's worked hard. 40-yard line. Still on their own half.
And you know why they call that guy the sheriff, don't you? Because he's a no-nonsense guy, and we just saw that in the tackle.
There's Farrell cleaning up. And that little chip and chase not working, and Jamaica in excellent field position. 35 yards. Now at the 40-yard line. First tackle.
You know, nothing flashed tonight from Jamaica as opposed to the other night, but they've certainly been consistent, haven't they?
Maybe not flash, but they've been fun to watch. There was a little show and go, and he popped that up for himself, Legault. Again, another one. Brian there.
Yeah, a little run from dummy half, a little scoot, a bit of a half dummy there.
Everything's working. Farrell with the bomb, putting it up. Plenty of time for Canada. Oh, he's popped that ball forward. Unlucky there. He got both hands on it, but it came out. And Canada will get the ball back. I'm sure his heart was in his throat there.
Fortunately for Canada, that didn't come off because that would have been 6 points. Well, it would have been 4 points. And had he been able to run around, it would have been 6. But
you can see Legault down there on the 10-yard line with his heart in his throat, watching that ball come towards him.
Oh, yeah.
And the Jamaican players charging him down. Is that Dempsey?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah,
he's still not 100%.
No, he's not. He's looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa the way he's walking right now. There's the sheriff.
I like this guy. Look, he's a gamer too, this guy, isn't he?
Well, he's moving the ball forward. He's not trying to do anything flash. He's just moving it up the middle.
Yeah, he's hitting it up very well.
Oh, great hands there from Jamaica. What? That was a cricket catch. That was fabulous.
Yeah, that was very fortuitous, wasn't it? And it stuck. Does he have sticky stuff on his gloves?
The suction cup fingertips there. Peltier, he can smell blood. Moving the ball up the middle, settling things down.
Funny you should say that. One gets the feeling right here that if Jamaica is the next team to score, it's almost all over Red Rover, isn't it?
This really could be Canada's worst nightmare coming true here on the attack. Jamaica 10 yards out.
Is ready.
Oh, he's so close. He's got over the line. And that's ready. Can you believe this? Jamaica again on the board. And that was like 10-pin bowling there. He just went straight through the middle of pins flying to the side. And Jamaica now leading by a score of 16 points to 0 with the kick to come. Most likely 18 points to 0. And What are we witnessing here, Brian? I mean, can you believe this?
We're witnessing an upset. You have to say it's a fair income upset because Canada, you know, you've heard me talk about it. You've seen what I've written about it in the past week or so. They were the form team coming into this.
And the Jamaica flags are flying.
Yeah, and he's running up and down in front of the Canadian fans in the stand. How about that? You take that. Rub salt in your wounds.
Well,
right in your face.
Canada are absolutely shell-shocked, and I really don't know whether the fans or the team, they can't believe what they're seeing, and we can't believe what we're seeing. But spoke to Coach McDermott, the USA Hawks coach McDermott, and he believed that Jamaica was the dark horse of this tournament. He felt that the USA winning the other night was really a massive victory simply because he believed that this Jamaican team had so much talent. They weren't able to pull it together for the first game, but we are seeing it right now.
We are. If he kicks this, then they're in a really good position. And he does.
And he does. 22.5 minutes left on the clock. Jamaica leading by a score of 18 points to 0. It's a 3-score game. And Canada, they are going to have to be the team that scores next. Otherwise, they will find themselves in the worst case position of going into Saturday's game against the USA with only a 4-day break, a little beaten up, and the USA with an entire week preparation.
Right, and a lot of points to make up. So they really have to. They really have to be the next to score. And they've got to do it quick, Steve. I mean, it's 3 tries against them already. And, you know, apart from the odd occasion, they really haven't looked like cracking the Jamaican defence, have they? Oh,
there's the opportunity that they were looking for. Canada with the ball back. Well, we were talking before about the tournament format and how if each team wins it, it's going to come down to a points differential. So
yeah.
Jamaica, this is exactly what they were looking for.
Yeah.
They were down 6 points against the US. They've clawed the way. They're a plus 12 right now with 2 games, 1 win, 1 loss. At this point, the game's not over.
Right. So that puts all the pressure on Canada, assuming... look.
He's had a terrible game.
Yeah, he took a little peek again. You know,
referees.
As I was saying, Canada has all the... will certainly, if they go on to lose this one tonight, and chances are they will, because we're just about at the 3-quarter mark now, then all the pressure will be on them on Saturday night back in Jacksonville, won't it?
Well, I'm not claiming victory for Jamaica yet.
No, I'm just saying if you know, it's like, well, we're in the 3 quarters of the game's gone. I mean, come on. Do you think Canada's coming back?
Rugby League has a way of breaking people's hearts. It's one of those games.
I'm going to call it now. I don't think they're coming back tonight. Did early in the game, I know, but there you go. They're not coming back. Not to win anyway.
Let's see what they can do with it.
Because Jamaica they've got the wind, they've got the tails up, the wind behind them, as it were, and you know,
there's Peltier,
and they're full of running.
They're looking at running. 3-4 players in the tackle. 30-yard line on the attack. Second tackle. Barrel.
A little hesitation is what he was doing the other night. You can't do that. That's what I was saying before to you. He needs to make better decisions and make them quicker.
He's still fun to watch, though. Not a typical 5'8" player watching him. Farrell again. Little chip a chase. That ball bouncing dangerously. Jamaica pops it over, and they're in again. Referee saying forward pass.
And I don't know whether he granted it properly or not. Doesn't really matter because it was a little forward, wasn't it?
And Canada breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah, they dodged a bullet there, Steve. A long way to go for the Wolverines, though. Very unexpectedly.
Shoughton hasn't had a great game. That's
This
better
guy
from the
has.
Canadian team. Robinson. Dempsey, sorry. He's been a warrior, but hurt. There he is again. Oh, geez, he looks dusty.
I think he's coming off this time, Steve. He's had enough.
No, I think, well, that's the last we'll see of him tonight.
Yeah. He's given it a good crack, but, you know. He's definitely in a lot of pain. He's going to feel that tomorrow.
And that's a penalty to the Canadian team.
That's the first one in a long time for the Wolverines.
Canada looking to take advantage of this. Not kicking for the extra field advantage, for the field position. Almost through the gap there. 20-yard line. What can they do? 18 minutes left. Score 18 points to 0. There's Jacks. Half a break. He's through. Oh!
He was taken. The man was taken without the ball.
And the referee spotted it.
That's a penalty. Wow.
And he's given him a yellow card.
Yeah.
And Jamaica, that is a yellow card, professional foul, deliberately taking the player out of the attack. And he really didn't need to do that. It didn't look like he would get the ball. You almost felt that Jacks had half a break and he could score himself.
Yeah.
And so now Jamaica has extra work ahead of it. And we have a football game simply because Jamaica is a man down.
I think that's Tyrone Rowe, isn't it? Is that, yeah, it is. It is.
On the attack, 2 yards out. Second tackle, Jacks. On Jacks. He's over, and Canada scores. And that's a 5'8" Riley Jacks scoring for Canada, and they breathe a sigh of relief. Under the post, kick to come, score 18 points to 4, 18 points to 6 likely, 17 minutes left. Do we have a game on hand?
Oh,
Jamaica a man down.
We have a game.
I told you that rugby league was a funny game, and it could be a heartbreaker. And this is one of those moments where the team that is leading, that clock, they want it to wind down quickly, and the team that's behind, it's just moving way too fast, the clock.
They made no mistake to go with the points after. And yeah, 18-6. Still a long way to go. Well, we need to send a huge thank you to the city of DeLand for making this game possible tonight in Central Florida and for growing rugby league in Central Florida by allowing Spec Martin to be the home of the Central Florida Warriors. They play in the USARL, in the Southern Conference, correct?
In the South Conference, correct?
Conference.
And the South is rising. There are some great things happening in rugby league in the USA, and especially in the South. The amount of talent that is coming through. There'll be some exciting announcements in the 2016 season. Plenty of action happening, and we can expect to see more teams grow. And Canada losing the ball there, and that was not the start they were looking for. Getting that ball back, and these are the opportunities that really have cost them tonight.
Yeah, it was Lewis Robinson, a very atypical mistake from him.
Jamaica back on the attack. Canada having to defend. What was an opportunity, now lost. That was a high ball, almost into the stands. Brown. Play the ball to Barnett. Campbell. Sorry, Thompson. Retty. Peltier. He's been something tonight. Oh, he's dropped the ball. Canada breathes a sigh of relief.
Just trying a little too hard. I think he saw the line there. He's about 6 inches away. Thought maybe if I can stretch a little bit, I'll get it there. Boom, lost it.
He has some step on him, and
yeah.
When I say step, I'm talking the way he puts his foot into that ground and pushes forward.
Yeah, he's got some go forward, that guy. He does.
I think they can do it.
Who's impressed you for the Jamaican team tonight?
Well, he's one of them. He's one of them. I think, again, the two guys we talked about, him and Lamont Bryan. I also think that, look, I'll say Farrell's had a better game tonight than he had the other night. And I also think that the guy with number 12 on his back, it doesn't show up here on the roster because it's not Mo Agoro. He's been having a good game.
Almost through. 50-yard line. Canada back in Jamaica territory. There's Jacks. He's worked hard tonight. He hasn't had the support he would have liked. Jacks again. Towering kick. Oh, well taken there. That wasn't an easy kick too. You could see it was swirling around. He's almost through. That's Wayne Retty. Oh, beautiful step. He could see the try line. Canada there, fingertip and taking it, and that would have been the game had they scored. He didn't need to take that, but he's lost the ball.
I think
this is end-to-end stuff. And Jamaica there, well, they were almost through, and again, that speed that we spoke about.
Yeah, that was the first time we've seen Wayne Retty actually put flight to the play, and he got through a couple of tackles on some nice stepping there, and just that last pass tipped by Riley Jacks, and referee says that he coughed it up when he hit the ground. So a bit of bad luck there for the Canadians, because they had seemingly snuffed out what looked like a very promising attack there by the Reggae Warriors.
There's Farrell back onto Bryan. Jamaica looking dangerous. 25 yards out, first tackle. Thompson onto Brown. Thompson again at dummy half. Bryan. There's Retty again. Go forward. 15 yards out, still in the attack. Bryan, Farrell getting driven back in the tackle. Good defense from the Canadian team.
That was shouting. Good tackle right there.
Fifth and last tackle. Thompson at dummy half. Little chip, too much on there though. That's really been the one area of the game with the Jamaican team that hasn't been that impressive, is their kicking game inside the 20-yard line there. They're pushing that ball deep, and every time they do that, it gives the Canadian team that extra play advantage.
We only saw one decent kick in general play last game by the Jamaicans. That was by Wayne Retty, and it resulted eventually in a try to the Jamaicans. But yeah, tonight, not so good.
Canada will have to score in this next play. This next set of 6. There's the Sheriff. And moving forward.
He's not bad, is he? The kind of guy you like in the engine room.
And a terrible play the ball there. I was just about to say that he's the Canadian equivalent of our Casey Clark with the USA team.
Yeah, give them raps, and then the next minute they make themselves look bad. Understandable though. I mean, they're under pressure. Time is running out. The clock is now becoming their worst enemy, apart from themselves, of course.
Well, will have plenty to talk about after tonight's game. Have to lick their wounds, and again, they'll be feeling the bruises, because this has been a physical game from the Jamaican team. Pushing that through, and Jamaica, the number 12 for Bouchard for Canada, getting hurt in that tackle. Well, I've got to say, it's been a bit of a sloppy game for both teams. It hasn't been that tight, sort of spectacular rugby league game. It's been a bit of a frustrating game to watch because of so many errors.
Right. And special thanks to Bill and Frank's Brickhouse Grill for hosting the USA Hawks pregame appearance, and to Brian's Barbecue, not me, for hosting the official after-game party. Although we may go down to Brian's Barbecue afterwards.
I am.
Because they do good barbecue here in the South, don't they?
They certainly do. Oh, shouting again.
Dear.
He's had a shocking game.
Yeah, look, he has had a mixed game. Sometimes he does some very good, promising things. Other times like that, and we've seen that about 3 or 4 times now, where I don't know whether he takes his eyes off the ball or what, but he coughs it up at the most inopportune times. Not that there's ever a good time to cough it up.
He's looking at the sky for answers. I don't think they're going to come there. He's going to have plenty to think about and a lot to work on after this game. The coach Zimmermill will be very busy. And there's Piatek. He's tried hard today, but again, the halves combination just hasn't had that magic. You can see that they're not used to working together. And half a break there by Brown?
No, because you've got a combination there of heritage player who didn't play in the Colonial Cup and the other homegrown guy who did. And normally he's paired with Matt Wiles, who's on the bench tonight.
And they were a deadly combination in the Colonial Cup, really doing so much damage in both of those games against the USA. Canada winning the Colonial Cup 2 years in a row.
That's Antoine Blanc, who's on there now, number 17 for the Wolverines.
Another player that had a great Colonial Cup series, scored a spectacular barnstorming run for 20 yards out.
You know, this is what Jamaica needs to do.
Oh, that is just dumb luck. He was almost better letting that go into touch. Instead, he kicked it back, and Jamaica will get the ball back on the 30-yard line.
I was about to say, that's all Jamaica needs to do. They just need to complete their sets, keep going forward, don't make any silly mistakes, and they're going to, be able to run out the clock. And now they're taking kicks of goals. Now they're listening to me, because they're thinking about the points differential that may come into play after Saturday's game.
That and if they are successful, it will turn it into a 3-score game. Well, the USA Hawks is sitting in the stands today, eagerly watching this, and we'll have a number of things to talk about. Coach Brian McDermott from the Leeds Rhinos, UK Coach of the Year. We'll have plenty to talk to the players about.
You know, I think they'll be rubbing their hands with glee, actually. They've probably been rooting for a Jamaican victory here. And because then all they need to do is make sure they beat the Canadians. It won't matter by how many points. 1 point will be good enough.
It does take the pressure off it. It puts the pressure on Canada going into the game, because they will have to score, and that will be part of the strategy, is to get those points on the board.
Well, they're going to have to win and right. And, well, they have to win first up, right? That's what they have to do. Because if they don't win, then it doesn't matter.
The strategy going into every game of this tournament will be to win.
Well, this is probably one of the most difficult kicks he's had. He had some sideline kicks in the first half as well, Farrell. And he's missed that one as well.
Pushed that to the right,
heck of a lot.
But they will get the ball back.
And they've also got less than 8 minutes now to ride this one out. And I'm thinking they're looking pretty good, Steve.
This has definitely been Jamaica's night. Everything that didn't go right has been clicking for this tournament. Onside kick, and Jamaica will get the ball back. And again, in a normal circumstances of a game, it's important, but in circumstances like this, where points are so important, I'm not sure that was the right strategy.
No, you have to question the strategy of the Canadians, certainly at times. That one, I agree with you. That was just a dumb play, really.
And then there's Hutchinson, again, off the bench. He's really been one of the best players tonight for me. Half a chance. 5 yards out. Jamaica on the attack. Can they put the nail in the coffin? Going down the blind side. It looks like he's going to be over.
Oh, he's close. He's close. But
he's been held up. That will move the ball back to the 10-yard line.
I'll tell you what, he was over the line.
He was over the line. He looked like he was going to score.
Good goal line defense there from Canada to hold him up.
That was Mo Agaro.
I don't know that is. I've got to double check afterwards. I don't know about that. We'll call him that for now, because that's what it says on the roster.
Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at the team sheet with
this
question. All righty. Well, if it's not him, then we apologise that they've been calling that all night, but you can blame the Canadian team for the team sheet they presented.
No, we won't blame the Canadian team. That was the Jamaican team sheet there.
Oh, you're sorry.
Can't blame them for everything.
Oh, almost through.
Jeez.
Good call. 40-yard line, out. Here we go. Canada on the attack. Back on the inside and out.
There's
they are on the board.
Lego scores. That's his second of the night.
And we have a game of football on. This game not over.
No, I beg your pardon. Riley Jack scored the first one. Lego converted the first one. And now he'll be lining up to convert his own, no doubt. And he's just to the left of the post, so you'd have to back him on that one, wouldn't you?
Jamaica shell-shocked by this. Canada, they are back in this contest. There's 5 minutes left, but we have a football game. Jamaica will be kicking the ball back into Canada territory. And what did I say before about the game of rugby league? It can be cruel.
Yeah, you did.
This would be an unbelievable comeback if Canada was able to snatch this victory. And the kick is successful. And Jamaica leading by a score of 18 points to 12 with 5 minutes left in the game.
It's that 6-point spread again, Steve.
There's that 6-point spread again.
And you know, players and volunteers from the Jacksonville Axemen and the Central Florida Warriors played a big part in event operations. You can find all rugby league teams in the USA by visiting usarl.com. Boy, oh boy, here we go. We said this the other night, did we not? This is the kind of finish you want to a game. I mean, Canada scores again, it ties it all up, and as we talked about at the outset, you do have ties, or draw, in other words, in these games. You don't have to have a win. And then, of course, the points differential will come into play if that's the case. And in Jamaica's case, it's not going to help them because they're still going to be 6 points in arrears, aren't they?
They are 6 points in arrears, but they've managed to claw their way back. That would have been a really just a difficult point difference to overcome going into the USA team. 18 points, but now it's only 6. The game's not finished yet. 5 minutes left. We've got a great finish coming here. There's the try scorer.
Yeah, he's a handful, Wamowa, isn't it?
And boy, oh boy, you can hear the Canadian fans cheering their team on, urging them to go forward. They're not done yet. Robson, he's worked hard all night, hasn't given up. 35-yard line.
What they need to do, Steve, is make sure they retain possession. Don't cough it up.
Third tackle, halfway line. Jacks again. Fourth tackle, 5 yards in the Jamaican half. Play the ball not quick enough.
And it's the Sheriff taken down that time.
There's the kick. It's a high one. And Jamaica bobbling that, but still getting the ball back on the 5-yard line. Both teams tied. They've given everything. But Canada, all of a sudden, looks like a different team out there.
Yeah, they're finishing strong. Can they get the ball and get it over the line? That's the question, because they've only got a little over 3 minutes to do it in.
Jamaica, second tackle.
And they're going to try and milk the clock. They're going to be slow getting up and to play the ball. You can see that.
That's Brown to Robson. Thompson.
Here we go. You see? That's what I'm talking about.
Barrel's hurt.
Now he's gone. Come on now.
And that was an ordinary kick.
What the Canada wants to do this time is just make this set of 6 count. Go forward. Nothing silly.
And he's shouting. He has got the speed.
Just hasn't quite found the gap. Half gaps.
Robson again. Canada in Jamaica's half. Fourth tackle. There's Jacks. Dummy half run.
Nobody with him though.
No support, but he's broken free.
Oh, good run. Good run there by the hooker.
Sorry, fourth tackle. Jacks. Oh, spilling the ball.
No.
The referee saying that the ball was knocked on.
I thought the referee originally signaled 6 to go.
The referee will give the loose head and feed to Canada. 2 minutes left. Jamaica leading by a score of 18 points to 12.
They're right on the 200 line. They are going to get a full set of 6 tackles here. 2 minutes and 7 seconds left.
Referee stopped the clock.
I don't think you can ask for much more excitement than this.
Canada will get the feed at the scrum and the possession back.
Reminder that, of course, the referee does have official time down on the field. We are doing our best up in the
This has been some finish. We're almost shocked with what we're watching here.
I think we are shocked, Steve. I mean, Canada, for all intents and purposes, were down and out not 10 minutes ago.
Here we go, pushed out, there's plenty of space. He's going to score.
Oh, the goal scores!
Oh my God, they've scored in the corner. Canada, out of absolutely nothing, has come back. They can't believe this. Jamaica, they're absolutely lost for words. Sensational play from the scrum feed, pushing the ball out wide and plenty of space there. They were way too bunched, Jamaica, in the scrum. But that cutout pass, diving in the corner, and this is a really important kick to come for Canada. This is everything.
Oh, this is for all the marbles, this one, because you wouldn't think there'd be enough time after this to mount another attack, because it's a minute and a half and the clock's ticking. This is Legault now lining up a conversion of his own try. He's scored the last two, and boy,
This is Piatek. A lot on the line here. So much on the line. This could be the difference for the tournament. Kicks. It's looking good. It's through. And they've tied the game. 18 points all. 50 seconds left on the clock. This game, I'm absolutely speechless and lost for words here.
Look,
we were joking around before about the possibility of Canada coming back, but Jamaica has really fallen apart in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. And
they've given the game, they've let them back in the tournament.
20 minutes ago, I said Canada was down and out and finished. Well, I was wrong, wasn't I? Because they came back, they tied it up, 30 seconds to go after the kickoff, and that's how it's going to finish, because in this game, you don't have to have a winner.
And there won't be any extra time here. This game, once it's done, this will blow the whistle, and
unless they're going to try and work themselves into position for a drop goal. That's the other thing they can think about.
And there's Walmalwa.
That's 2 tackles
15
now.
seconds left on the clock.
They
Canada on the 40-yard line. There he goes, Jacks from dummy half. Through the gap, still going.
Running out of time. They need to kick now. Where's their kicker?
Seconds on the clock, Jacks. Winding up.
They need to drop it now.
They'll be kicking for field goal. Good field position. That wasn't the play they were looking for. The clock stopped. The referee's still signaling play on.
Here we go.
From the 40-yard line. He's done a drop kick, but it's wide. And that's it. The referee will blow time. And I'm absolutely speechless here. Jamaica and Canada, 18 points to all. Both teams will take a point. What a team that was absolutely down and out and looked like that the tournament would fall, just simply come apart, has now managed to claw the way back in and grab a point for Jamaica. That is the end of their tournament.
Yeah.
What was an opportunity for them to stay in and really see Saturday's game as the result to determine had the 18 points been enough. But Canada gets the extra point, and Saturday, what a matchup. We've got the USA versus Canada at Jacksonville Hodges Stadium, 3 p.m. Mate, you can tell I'm lost for words.
Well, it's what we were talking about the other night. It's the TV producer's dream game, USA v Canada for all the marbles. And USA starting in the driver's seat because they've already got a win, and they've got a 6-point buffer. Canada, 1 point. USA's got 2 points. Canada now has got 1 point. So if it ends in a tie again, USA wins.
Well,
again, pressure on Canada to win.
The reality is it's going to come down to a victory by either team on Saturday night. This is a dream finish for this tournament. Both teams, Canada are very, very lucky to be back in the tournament, but here we are, both teams on a point now each, and Jamaica out of the tournament. The USA 2 points up with the game on Saturday, and yep.
I think what happened here, Steve, in the last 20 minutes when we were thinking Jamaica was coasting, I think they probably did coast. They probably thought they had it in the bag. And the Canadians said, no way that's happening, baby. And they came back and they tied it up, as we saw, and all credit to them for doing that.
Well, come back and join us at Hodges Stadium in Jacksonville, Saturday, 3 p.m. It should be a great finish to this tournament. USA Hawks versus Canada Wolverines.
Yeah, I think it will be, and it'll be interesting to see tonight when I do the post-match interviews with the coaches what Aaron Zimmerly will have to say about that, because he gave away, what was it? They were down 18-0 at one point, so 18 unanswered points by the Wolverines in the space of 20 minutes. I mean, that's pretty good, but I'm sure he's probably going to think, well, we squandered some chances. We bombed a couple of try-scoring opportunities there, and they certainly did that in the first half. And they came back, and they've left themselves with it all to do, because regardless if they'd won this game, they still have to win Saturday, right? So the fact of the matter is they're a point behind the USA, and that may or may not count for anything on Saturday.
Well, they'll be talking about this one for a while, and Canada's unbeaten streak continues.
Yep.
And yes, join us again on Saturday at 3 p.m. for the final of the Firehouse Subs Rugby League World Cup qualifiers. USA Hawks, Canada Wolverines. It's going to be a dream game and matchup, and we'll be calling the action. I'm Steve Williams. With me, Brian Lowe from RugbyLeaguePlanet.com. Brian, thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure, and looking forward very much now to the winner takes all on Saturday.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us.